Hello and welcome to How to Apply for Project Medals and Other Recognition Awards. My name is Lynette S.K. I'm a 4-H educator with Oneida County. Oneida County offers special recognition awards to youth, volunteers, and leaders. These include County Medals Project Certificates, Personal Growth Certificates, Helping Hand Awards, Community Service Awards, My Favorite Leader, Thumbs Up Award. In this presentation, we are going to explain each of these awards and how you apply or nominate someone to receive one. We're going to start with Project Medals Project Certificates. Youth who have done outstanding work within specific project areas may be interested in earning special recognition. We refer to these awards as Project Medals. A list of all the medals and criteria can be found on our website. When you visit the website, you will find the medals organized within 4 categories. These are Animal Science, where all animal science projects are grouped together, Creative Sciences for arts and crafts and STEM, things you make or create, Environmental is for natural resources, entomology, and horticulture, and Personal Development is for community service, creative communications, leadership, public speaking, and horse communications. Other topics may qualify for medals. Please contact the office if you have further topic suggestions. A click on any of the projects listed in red will open up the criteria for that project. Project Medal Criteria. At the beginning of each 4-H Club year, you should review the medal options. These again are found on our website. Let the youth decide what project medals they want to strive for. Print off the project criteria so they can keep track of what they have accomplished. Each subject area has specific criteria that must be met in order for your child to receive an award. That criteria form is also the evaluation form that the youth will need to submit if they want to apply for an award. Let's take a look at the criteria for horse. If you go on the website and you click on the link for horse, this is the form that's going to show up. This is what you're going to print out at the beginning of the year so you can check off the requirements, and this is what you're going to bring to the interview. We'll discuss the interview a little bit further into this presentation, but for right now let's go over the criteria. The following criteria must be met in order to be eligible for a project medal in the horse area. Bring this completed form with you to your interview. Be sure you have checked and filled in all the selections below. If you don't meet all the criteria on this form, you are not eligible for a medal, and there really isn't any reason for you to apply for one. So this is the first step. If you're eligible, you want to apply. If you haven't met this, don't bother applying. Alright, first thing, you must bring to the interview this completed criteria form with listings to back up the requirements below. These can be photos or supportive props or documents about your 4-H and equine activities. You must be currently enrolled in 4-H and in the equine project area for at least 1 year. Cloverbud years do not count towards the 1-year minimum. You must participate in a project interview, at which time the 4-H member presents and discusses their year in 4-H. Interviews traditionally take place on Columbus Day. You must come to the interview prepared to talk about your goals for the past year, if you achieved those goals, new things you've learned and tried, and any special highlights of your 4-H year. Youth will meet face-to-face with a volunteer where they will share their accomplishments over the past year. This is where you're going to have a face-to-face interview. You must come prepared to the interview to talk about your project animal. Youth should have appropriate knowledge on the animal's care and management, health records, training and show preparation, and nutrition and diet requirements. You must have completed an approved creative communication event or activity in the project area in the current 4-H year. On the form, you would write in what you did for your creative communication. But right now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what exactly a creative communication is. 4-H understands that doing a formal public presentation may be overwhelming for some youth. That is why we provide alternate communication opportunities for those youth to apply and earn project medals. The key point to remember is that the youth should be sharing their knowledge and skills with others. We would accept youth writing an article for On the Move, creating an information poster that must be shown at the Boonville Fair, one that teaches others how to do a craft such as handmade holidays, Contact your educator to discuss the options. There's many options for creative communications. Your creative communication should coordinate to your project medal you are applying for. If you are applying for a horse medal, your horse communication would be your creative communication. If you are applying for a gardening medal, your creative communication could be reading to a classroom for ag literacy. Of course, if you also did a public presentation on something to do with gardening, that would be your creative communication. But what we're trying to strive to achieve here is that the youth have an opportunity to talk and share their knowledge with others about the topic that they are applying the medal for. So if you do a sewing creative communication, you shouldn't be applying for a horse medal because those two projects don't jive. You must have participated in at least 2 approved equine programs or activities for the year. On the form you would write down at least 2 of those projects. This could be horse bowl hippology, it could be at the Boonville Fair, it could be doing any of the field trips that Lisa offers or any of the guest speakers that Lisa has come in to talk to you about horses. So you would write those activities there. Finally, you must have completed at least 6 hours of community service. Remember, community service is about doing good deeds for organizations within the community. You should not receive payment or exchange your time for compensation. Cleaning the barn where you board your horse is not community service. Cleaning your bedroom or cutting the grass for your aunt is not community service. That is called being part of a family. Community service is volunteering. Bell ringing for the Salvation Army, at teaching crafts at the fair. As mentioned on the previous slide, you must do community service in order to be eligible for a project medal. In Oneida County, our community service project is called Faces of 4-H. This is where you go online and you record your community service hours. We ask 4-H members, leaders, and parents, if you have volunteered in the name of 4-H, we want to hear about it. We would like you to log it into the 4-H Faces of 4-H. Logging your hours into the system will not only give us a running total of the projects you are working on, but it will also give us an opportunity to spotlight your efforts in newsletters and create displays at the county and state fairs. You can follow the link that's on the web page and just log your hours in. Remember, if you want to show at the county fair, you must log in at least 6 hours of community service prior to July 1st. So in order to show at the fair, you have to do at least 6 hours of community service. If you have shown at the fair, there's a good chance you are eligible for a project medal. Remember, each medal has specific criteria. Make sure you review it before you apply for a medal. Go to our website and click on the desired project. This will open up the criteria sheet similar to the horse criteria we used as an example. If you've met all the criteria, you are on your way to earning a project medal. These are some important dates that you need to mark on your calendar: September and October. In August-September issue of On the Move, you will find a reminder that it is time to apply for awards. Make note of the deadline registration dates and the date of the interviews. Again, interviews are traditionally held on Columbus Day. You can go to our website, look for the green clover, and click on it to register for events and awards. When you go into the online registration system, it is going to ask you for some basic contact information. It's going to look very similar to the blue box below. Be sure you use proper capitalization and punctuation. The way you type things in is the way it's going to show up on certificates. So if you spell your name wrong, your name's going to be spelled wrong on your certificates. First thing it's going to ask, your first and last name. Then it's going to ask for your address, your city, your state, and your zip code. It's also going to ask for a phone number, and it's going to ask for an email, and make sure the email address is one that you check regularly. This is how we're going to connect with you regarding the interview process. As you get further into the registration, it is going to ask you for which project medals you're going to apply for. You can also apply for additional awards on this link. So at this point, when you're going in to register, you should know, hey, I qualify for horse, or hey, I qualify for arts and crafts, and those are the projects that you're going to list on this registration form. On the previous slide, I mentioned that when you go online, you can also select to apply for different awards or certificates. Let's talk a little bit about the personal growth certificates. These were originally designed for Cloverbuds, but anybody can apply. You must be a currently enrolled 4-H member, and you must have completed at least 2 activities in one project area, and you must have enrolled in those project areas when you first enrolled in 4-H. You're also going to submit a reflection on what you learned or your individual accomplishments that you have achieved through 4-H involvement. This reflection can be in written essay or story form, a picture story along with captions and descriptions of each picture, or any other means that the 4-H would like to tell their 4-H story. This has a maximum of 4 pages. On the registration, there will be a deadline date of when this must be received in the office. Again, you're not going to go for any kind of medals at this point. You're not doing a personal interview. This is just a written submission of what you've done in 4-H. Project certificates. Youth who do not meet the qualifications for a project medal can earn a project certificate in one of 2 ways. If they come in for an interview and they have not met the criteria for a project medal, they may qualify for a certificate. If youth qualify and meet all the criteria for a project medal but do not participate in the interview process, they may qualify for a certificate. So in a nutshell, this is what it means, is that if you come to the interview and you're not qualified for it, you haven't met all the criteria, or you didn't come in with your form filled out, or you haven't done a creative communication, you may still be eligible for a project certificate. Not always, but it may work out that way. You can also, if you have met all the criteria for a project medal, but you don't want to come in for the interview, you can turn that paperwork into us. Again, that's that horse form with all the information filled out. You mail that into the office by the deadline date, and if you qualify, if you filled it out correctly and we can verify everything on there, then you may qualify for a project certificate. Youth may also apply for Outstanding Achievement Awards. Outstanding Achievement Awards are for those youth who apply and earn several project medals within a specific category. Emphasis is placed on growth and advancement in their project areas, as well as personal growth in terms of leadership, community service, and sharing 4-H experiences with others. These categories are in yellow. So if you look at the form to the left, you'll see animal science project criteria in yellow, and underneath it you have beef, cat, dairy, dog, goat, horse, poultry, rabbit, cabbie, sheep, swine, and vet science. So if somebody was going to go for an Outstanding Animal Science Award, we would expect that they have applied for several medals under the animal science project medal criteria. So you've done a little bit of beef, you've done a little bit of dairy or dog. We want somebody who is well-rounded and versed in many science project areas. Do not apply for an outstanding award if you have not earned or applied for a project medal within one of the 4 categories. So for example, if you haven't done anything in environmental, you haven't applied for any awards in the environmental section, you can't apply for an outstanding award in environmental. Youth are required to do an interview and have an additional evaluation form, which can be found on the website. It's on the same page as the other county awards are, and it's listed below: Outstanding Animal Science, Outstanding Personal Development, Outstanding Family Consumer Science Award, and Outstanding Environmental Award. Click on those and it will take you to some additional criteria on how we evaluate whether you earn the Outstanding Award or not. Outstanding Achievement Award trips. Please note that applying for an outstanding award does not mean you will receive the award. Youth must show a commitment and apply for several medals within the specific Outstanding Awards category. It is therefore possible that we will not award outstanding awards every year. For those who are selected to receive the award trip, you get to choose from one of the following: 4-H Career Explorations at Cornell, Teen Winter Weekend, the ABC trip, STAR, the New York State Forestry Program, and 4-H Capital Days in Albany. Again, you have to choose age-appropriate trips, and we will send you to one of these events. What to expect the day of interview. Once everyone has registered to participate in the interview process, you will be assigned a time for your interview. Interviewers typically take place in the morning, but this may vary depending upon the number of applicants. Remember, interviews typically take place on Columbus Day. When you come in for your interview, you should bring completed copies of your criteria. You will meet face to face to discuss your application. The interviewer will ask you questions based on what you have written on those forms. You should also bring examples of your projects along with any other supporting documents that you feel will help the interviewer understand what you have done and learned over the past year. It is very important that you bring the completed forms to the interview. Failure to follow this procedure may disqualify you for a project medal. Once your interview is over, you are free to go home. You too can nominate individuals for awards. We need your help in recognizing individuals who have given above and beyond to the 4-H program. Go online to submit your nominee. We are looking to recognize youth, volunteer, leaders. Watch the August-September newsletter for information on how to submit your nominees for these specific awards. They are My Favorite Leader Award or the Helping Hand Award. These are for people who have gone above and beyond. Maybe you have a 4-H member who has helped you tremendously over the years. She's always there. He's always picking up after the kids. Whatever needs to be done, they're doing it. Or you have a leader who has just helped you tremendously over the years. This is your opportunity to really thank them. You can go online, you'll submit their name, you'll write a little bit of an essay on why you think they deserve the award, and then you just click send and it comes to us. We do have additional awards that members can receive. Cloverbud members who participate in the Boonville Fair will automatically qualify for the Thumbs Up Award. Community service hours are recorded in the Faces of 4-H online, and from that we generate the Community Service Awards. So make sure you go online and register those community service hours. We do ask that you put your club name in when you register that, so then we can give out Community Service Club Awards as well as Community Service Individual Awards. In review, county medals and project certificates have specific criteria that must be met. These can be found online. Youth must apply for these awards. Personal growth certificates require that youth write and submit an essay about their accomplishments and projects. Helping Hand Awards and My Favorite Leader, we accept nomination to recognize youth, leaders, and volunteers. Community Service Awards are calculated from the Faces of 4-H community service entries, and Thumbs Up Awards are given to Cloverbuds that participate at the Boonville Fair. All of those awards mentioned are given out to youth who attend the 4-H Achievement Award Banquet. This is usually held in November. Check on the move for specific dates and times. It is very, very important that you pre-register for this event. Our rooms will only hold so many people. Last year we came very close to overloading the rooms. If that happens again, we need to move the venue. So if you don't register, then there's a chance that we may not be able to allow you to come in because our room is not big enough to hold that many people. So again, pre-registration is very, very important. If you have any questions about any of the awards mentioned today or any other awards that are given out throughout the year, please feel free to contact the 4-H office. Thank you very much and have a good night.